My name is Alfredo Ocampo, originally from Mexico. I came here in the United States, to the United States in 1994, and I became more involved in the church. And a Passionist priest from Chicago used to come to celebrate Mass every Sunday, or at least every other Sunday, with the Hispanic community. And by then, I was already involved with the youth group, as I remember, I became discerning more and more about vocation, as to the priesthood. But I was very reluctant and hesitant to go forward. In fact, I resisted as much as I could. Um, but then, as much as I was resisting, then the Lord, I believe it was the Spirit who was making me more uncomfortable with my discernment, the process. So one day I just prayed, okay, if this is going to be what you want from me, then send me to someone, or send that person to me, that person who knows more than me about these things. And soon enough, probably a month later, this Passionist priest, who came and celebrated Mass, I was serving as a Eucharistic minister. At the end of the Mass, I was just washing the cups and the plates, the potens. And he approached me from the back and he asked me, "What are you going to do with your life?" I was very tempted to say, "That's none of your business." But then I remembered that I was praying to the Lord, send me to someone, or send that person to me. And I opened myself, I offer myself to the opportunity. And that's how my vocation with the Passionist began. Soon after, he invited me to come over to their place, the monastery in Chicago, Harlem. And that's how my vocation with the Passionist has been very good, challenging, fruitful, but it's been a wonderful experience so far, because I've been meeting and sharing with very good people, men and women, lay and vow Passionists. And that's where I am so far in my discernment with the Passionist, so far doing my first year of theology.
Yes, I chose the Passionist because of the symbol of the cross. I was always, Good Friday has always been a special significance to me in my own development. I found that I could, because of the situation in Jamaica, which is poverty, there's violence, there distressing situations there, and somehow the cross represented something I could identify with. I could unite myself with, to get some understanding of what is that my people, the Jamaican people, are going through. And so the Passionist, with this Passionist sign, that brought me some attraction to it. Apart from the fact that I've been going to this retreat house and seeing this sign and the people there, the sort of retreat that they offer, I was in tune with that. So I chose that path for my religious development. I was a professional. I love what I do as a professional, numbers. I was an accountant, so I loved numbers. But I found the attraction of the Passionist community also that great. And so I decided to bring this to prayer. And I came with a point that I had to make a decision, and decision led me to the Passionists. The cross is a symbol of moving ahead. It's a symbol of getting some sort of answer for what is the difficulties that you'll go through. And so I'll ask them just to gaze on the cross, the Passionist sign, there's a Passionist sign, to see how far, how is it they're going to move into the next step. If a young person were to ask me why they should join the Passionist, I'd say to them, what is it that you want most in life? And isn't there going to be a challenge? The cross, the challenge for Jesus. So see if you can get those two to work together and see how what kind of answer you get. Try prayer first, and then the next step, look at the cross, look at Jesus on the cross, and see how that will resonate with you in your journey.
My name is Eno Dango, and I was born and raised in the Philippines. And my experience with the Passion is, well, specifically my experience with vocation, I can picture it like receiving the vocation as a gift. And my encounter with this vocation is like unwrapping the gift from the moment that I receive, or I've seen the gift wrapped beautifully. The first time that I've seen this gift when I was in senior high school, when there was this Passionist all in full regalia as a Passionist, and visited us and spoke to us this very mobile kind life of a missionary. He worked with because the Passionists used to have a radio station with the media, and then work in the tribal mission, work in the urban area, work in parishes and anywhere. And so it just really mind blowing for me to see this guy, the life of this guy. So it was just like the wrapping of this gift was really, really attractive to me. So that somehow attracted me to enter the Passionist. As again, my journey with my vocation is like a gradual unpacking of this gift, and then this gift, this wrappings have so many layers. And there were times that I thought that after unpacking the layer, sometimes it took a while for me to appreciate it again. And then appreciation of the vocation is a lifelong process. And there was a time that I got tired unpacking it. And then there was a time after staying with the Passionist for 6 years, I decided to take a leave from unpacking that gift and decided to venture into another kind of life. But unknowingly, those part of my life, because after leaving the Passionist after 5 years, I became a teacher. I wanted to experience what the world outside was, because I entered the Passionist after high school, so I never really had that so much experience of what is life in the world. And then I became a teacher, and I became a missionary, and then for a long time, and all this, unknowingly, all this time of my life was part of the unpacking of this gift. And 10 years after, within God's intention and purpose, I ran into the Passionist again when my parents moved to Houston, Texas. That's where I met the Passionist again. And then I didn't realize, I never expected I would, find a Passionist again. But I thought of that journey was life of unpacking of that gift of vocation. Now I just finished my theology last week, very fresh graduate, and now I have another year of pursuing another line of education, which is a masteral with the concentration on interreligious dialogue, specifically Christian and Islam. I've never dreamed of getting into this pursuit of interreligious dialogue, but after 911 and having listened to professors at CTU who are involved in this effort of interreligious dialogue, I've seen it gradually. I've seen in front of my eyes the charism of the Passionists in fleshed out in the brokenness of the world. This division, fighting here, and many people would say that what would be the how would you find the charism of the Passionists in this ministry of interreligious dialogue? Right, outrightly, I would tell them, didn't you see that the brokenness of the world really represents the passion? And then, in fact, a while ago, Father Jones was saying that, Jude Jones was saying that we should be Passionists without borders. So I thought I was reflecting on that, and I've seen the call that God has put in me right now to pursue this. In fact, in a little while, a month from now, I would be studying Arabic, and I'm very hopeful that these gifts would help me enter into this effort of bridging the very difficult gap of interreligious dialogue. And I think this is, God is calling us to be one. Jesus is telling his disciples in the Gospel of John, just as me and my Father are one, I also want my people to be one. So this is, I think this is really a kind of the call of a Passionist right now, and this is the continued journey of unpacking of where I am called to be. I'm very happy with this gift, and I'm looking forward for God's blessings in the future.